Wow, this is so interesting. So if a pastor or a church accepts a money made out of prostitution, then God says, I'm going to be against that church. Hey, I was so shocked to find such an evidence. So it didn't make me think, what about those slay queens that are making money out of prostitution? What about those sangomas that are making money? What about those what about those who are actually selling their bodies, making money, go to church and offer that money? What about those monies that are offered into things that are deemed to be driven by people who are saying we are led by God to go and donate? What about such people? I found a quite, I wouldn't say disturbing, but a quite, I wouldn't say controversial, but I found a quite compelling evidence that such is not accepted. Then we're going to be talking about Zodwa Wabantu and how Zodwa Wabantu is seen from a theocracy perspective. Remember that Zodwa Wabantu, whatever she's practicing, is from a democratic perspective. So we want to weigh that against theocracy as well. But let me unpack all of this, provided that you're interested. If you are interested, then please stick around. As you stick around, there's only one favor that I'm requesting from you, and that is you subscribe, you like the video, and you comment in the comment section below, because doing that, guys, it does help out a lot when it comes to the YouTube algorithm to promote and spread this video to as many people as possible. Speaking of the fact that it does help out a lot to help as many people as possible, these days, the type of sangomas that we have, they go to churches, they are found in church events. Technically, we can also say that they are donating to the good cause, whatever you call it. So they are there, they are busy donating. But my question was, how does God looks at the money made out of prostitution? There are those that are married to men just for the sake of money. By the way, that is also prostitution. Now, we need to unpack all of that, right? Let me define this term prostitution from a theocratical perspective. It's not, or it does not define people who sleep with multiple partners, right? But it defines an act where a person decides to sleep with somebody, or a person decides to marry someone with an intention of getting money in return. That is defined as prostitution, right? So I read a verse in the book of Leviticus that says, do not prostitute your daughters. Do you know what it means? What it means, or the history behind it? It is when you give your daughter to a successful person with an intention of getting remuneration in return. That's right there. It's what I've defined it. To get the point that you defined it by the number of people you sleep with, but according to theocracy, is defined by the intentions. Now that's the difference that I found. I was like, wow. So these people are these people who have got high standard, a very big standard, they fall under this category of Zodwa Wabantu. To get a point, I know we have them within churches where they say they even go as far as saying, yeah, but God, Adam had money and blah blah blah. All of that, guys, it's still Zodwa Wabantu. They still fall under Zodwa Wabantu, because a theocracy says you do not marry somebody because that person must provide security to you. You marry somebody because that person, you and that person love one another. And that is the basis in which you marry somebody from a theocratical perspective. So I don't have a problem with people claiming or people wanting those things, but don't baptize them into theocracy. But let it be, it is from democratic perspective, so it is okay, because in democracy people are allowed to think the way they want to think. So a proceeds or profits made out of such practices, according to theocracy, it shouldn't even come or shouldn't be offered. I was so shocked to hear that Well, let me take you to this evidence, guys. Go with me to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23. We are looking at verse 18. This is what it says. It says that you shall not bring the fee of a prostitute or the wages, listen carefully, or the wages of a dog into the house of the Lord your God in payment for any vow. For both of these are an abomination to the Lord your God. And I was like, wow. You know what I find it interesting is that how many people out there get into this one. Let's get up into this one. So I read an article from News 24. They did a survey / research. They found out that 9 out of 10 women that are married to successful people, 9 out of 10. Hey guys, 9 out of 10 of those women married to successful people, they don't love their husband, but they said it is because they've got security. Now listen carefully. Now these days you've got what we call it. We will learn to love, and women learn to love you. Learn. So that has been used to justify the fact that they can marry anybody, that even if they don't like you, even if they don't love you, they can do it because they will learn to love you. But research says, News 24, you will find the article there. Research says they are in it. They are married to those men. They still don't love those men, even today. So you can clearly state that divorce is inevitable to such people. So they are most likely to increase the level of divorce. That's why we have seen, the research backs it up to say, highest number of people that are now divorcing actually are Christians. So listen carefully. How does that relate to Zodwa Wabantu? The one thing that I love about Zodwa Wabantu is that she is an honest prostitute. Zodwa Wabantu never came here and say, hey, this. She always tells you, mina ngiyafeba. That's it. She never beat around the bush. So my challenge is these people who wanna, I know, Adam this, Adam that, Adam this. I don't want to make this video long. So the other part of Zodwa Wabantu, I'm gonna break it down for you in the next video. But today, I wanted us to talk about this. I'm of the idea that democracy allows you to practice what you want to practice. But don't take democracy and infuse it into theocracy. Don't try to baptize things of democracy into theocracy. It doesn't work. We're sitting here, we are told here that such people who make proceeds out of such behavior, it's not accepted here. You know what I'm saying? So the difference is, these hypocrites that goes to church, but they are in actual fact prostitute, they are actually constantly violating God by bringing him the tithe or paying the vows out of proceeds made out of prostitution. Now, I emphasize that prostitution is when the intention is to marry somebody for the sake of money. That's prostitution. You may be sleeping with one guy whom you love because he has the security, but that act is classified as prostitution from this verse that I've been reading. To get the point of what I'm trying to say. So you are not allowed to bring the process of such into theocracy and offer it to God. That's what I found it to be so interesting. But be as honest as possible with your soul, like Zodwa Wabantu. The one thing that I like about that woman, she never beats around the bush about who she is. Now, if I were to be given an opportunity to choose between marrying most of these so-called Christians who are actually Zodwa Wabantu, I would rather marry the actual Zodwa Wabantu than to marry the so-called Christians, because they are not honest in themselves. They have two fountains that they want to drink from: theocracy and democracy. They want to benefit from both. But Zodwa Wabantu says, I'm benefiting from democracy. And this, I know it's not right. I'm doing something that I'm doing is wrong. But because democracy allows me to do it, I'll do it. And Zodwa Wabantu is honest. So I say to you guys, better is to be honest with yourself, be Zodwa Wabantu, than pretend to be a Christian while looking through your behavior we can still see Zodwa Wabantu. I'll see you on the next one. But until then, please take care.